What's up? My name is Dan Virchow, and I am a Las Vegas-based photographer, videographer, and my photographic passion lies in music photography, and more specifically, concert photography. And I've been very fortunate, and I'm super grateful to have had the opportunity throughout the past few years to go on the road with major acts like Slipknot, Motionless in White, Cherry Bombs, and it was time to update my kit just a little bit. So I picked up the Sony a7V, and honestly, on paper, it seems to me like kind of the perfect hybrid camera for my style of shooting, completely 50% photo and video. So today I want to talk about my current setup and what I'm getting rid of to justify the addition of the a7V to my kit. So my primary A cam for photos is a Sony a7R5, 61 megapixel files. It has the 4-axis, screen, the tilt screen. You can go any way with the screen. Kind of non-negotiable for me at this point. It's got to have that screen, which will lead me into the a7V here in a moment. My two other cameras, though, is where it gets a little complicated. The Sony a7C II and the Sony ZV-E1. Both of these bodies are very compact. They're very small. And together, they are exactly what I need when I'm on the road. This is a very capable camera, the a7C II, and it's honestly one of the most aesthetically beautiful cameras per my eye. It's out there, and that's why I love this camera. The ZV-E1, this thing's superpower is it's basically an A7S III or FX3. It has the same sensor in this camera in just a very small body. And it has a dual base ISO of 12,800. So it can see in the dark. In a concert environment, that is huge for video purposes. This thing rocks. It's just a little rocket. I love this thing. So I started thinking throughout the past few months, and especially on the last tour I was on, that I just really wanted something that would combine these two cameras. And the a7V is kind of the perfect merger of these two cameras. And here's why. I had a list of things, a little checkbox, of what I would need for quality of life improvements to justify getting the a7V. And it kind of checked all the boxes in a way. And number one, I was really wondering what the dual base ISO of the a7V would be. And it's 8,000. So it's 800 and 8,000. Now, if you don't know what a dual base ISO is, you start with your base ISO, which on S-Log3 on Sony cameras is usually 800. The ZV-E1 is 640, but it's usually 800. So you have that, and then you increase the ISO until you get to whatever the dual number is, and that's another base ISO. So 8,000 on the a7V, that checked a major box for me. That was a huge win. So that alone almost convinced me to get that camera, this camera, the camera that's actually currently filming this video. Now, in terms of other reasons I wanted it, when shooting a concert, having a joystick and having a center framed EVF are very important, to me at least. Now, the Sony a7C II, as much as I love this camera, legitimately one of my favorite cameras of all time. It's got the rangefinder EVF on the side. It has no joystick, which has become a major issue for me. So all of these things are packed into the a7V. So to me, it was kind of like a no-brainer. Oh, and there's one more thing as well that I was really looking forward to this camera potentially having, and that was 4K 120 frames per second video. And it does. It's cropped. It has a pretty intense crop in, but for my use case, that's not a big deal. I'm usually using a pretty wide lens, or I'm just in an environment where I'm pretty far removed from the subject I'm shooting as it is, a band on a stage. So 4K 120 cropped, really not a problem for me at all. So as soon as I saw the specs and some real world use of the a7V, I just did it, man. I picked it up instantly, and I've been using it the past couple weeks, and I love it. It's another Sony camera. There's nothing really exciting about it. Like you open this and you're like, oh, it looks exactly like my Sony a7R5. So there's not like a, woo, let's get after it like mentality, but I know that when I'm on the road and I absolutely need something like this, it's just going to crush it. It's got everything that I need. And I really think that it's one of the most perfect hybrid cameras for something like concert photography. Now, when it comes to which of these cameras I'm going to get rid of, my initial thought was like, I think I'm just going to get rid of both of them. It's going to clear up space in my bag. And I still kind of feel that way. I do feel like the a7V is my perfect merger of the a7C II and the ZV-E1. But a7C II is just so, it's pretty. It's a pretty little camera. And I really enjoy this for street photography. There's just something about this look that makes you want to take it out. It's a conversation piece a lot of times too. People think it's a film camera. You know, it's kind of the Fujifilm mentality these days that people are more inspired to shoot with something that just inspires them. You don't even know what it is. A lot of times it's just the look of the camera. So I'm kind of leaning towards keeping the a7C II, but the ZV-E1, I'm a hybrid shooter. So only having this for video, I just don't think that really has a spot in my bag anymore, which sucks because this camera rules. Now, I just want to acknowledge a couple of things that have been really big talking points for the a7V online. One, of course, is that there's no open gate built into this camera. That's where you can get the full readout of the sensor so you can shoot something and you can reframe it or crop it in post to have perfect horizontal content or vertical. And to me, it's not a big deal that this isn't included. It's probably something that could be added in a firmware upgrade, but Sony's not really held in high regard in terms of firmware updates. They're kind of behind the ball on that a lot, especially compared to their competitors. But I've had cameras, and I currently still have cameras. I have some Lumix gear that has open gate, and I never use it. I don't like framing things in a square way. I like what I'm used to, a more traditional landscape style, or if I know I'm just using something for vertical, to just flip the camera vertical. Totally get why people are upset about that, because it's just something that seemed like so easy to add into the camera that they just didn't. It's not like they intentionally nerfed this thing or anything, but for some people, they're not down with that, and I don't blame them. But for me personally, I don't care if a camera has open gate or not. And then when you compare this to the competitors, honestly, I'm going to be really honest about this. If I could start all the way over with my photographic journey, if I was just to start right now, I'd probably buy into the Lumix system. The Panasonic cameras, I think they're awesome. I have an S9. I love the features in that. That was like my little demo camera to see if I liked Lumix cameras. And they're so rich and feature packed, and you get a lot of bang for your buck, and they constantly update the firmware. Like, you're just getting more and more camera all the time. I love that. But the advantage with Sony is the lens selection. There's just this massive lens selection, and I like to have different looks. And you know, if you're shooting a tour and you've shot like 5 shows, you've got all the shots you're going to get of that band probably. So you want to switch it up with different kinds of gear. That's why I use a lot of like effects filters or just different focal lengths. And Sony offers just the most amazing selection of first party and third party and all these different kinds of lenses. And I really love that about them. But man, I do think that like not having full frame 4K 120, that affects me more than open gate. Like, it's not a big deal, like I said earlier, because I have space. The crop doesn't really affect me, but it just kind of stinks to not have that full frame. I just want everything in one camera body. And this kind of does, but it's like a sampling. This camera's kind of like a sampling of the A1 Mark II. And that's fine because that camera is way overpowered, but it's also, in my opinion, way overpriced when some competitors like Lumix give you the same features basically for a lot less money. But I just switched camera systems a couple years ago, going from Canon to Sony, and getting rid of all my gear and investing in an entirely new system was a lot of work. It was kind of fun, but it's something that I don't want to go through again. And I'm happy with my Sony cameras. I love the a7V. This is a really great camera. The a7R5 is great. All of these bodies are great. To me, it's just a bummer that before I needed these two cameras to do basically what my Canon R5 could do. Like, that camera had everything I needed, and I found that I just needed more and more bodies to get the same results with Sony, but I love that lens selection. Okay, so outside of that major tangent I just went on, am I happy with my purchase? Absolutely. I really dig this camera. I'm excited to catch content on it in the coming months and throughout this year and the coming years, because I don't see myself getting rid of this camera for quite a while. Did I need the Sony a7V? No, definitely not. In my current kit, I had everything I needed, but I'm finding that some of the superpowers of cameras like these, I don't even need. Like on the ZV-E1, 12,800 dual base ISO is awesome, but when I go that high up, I usually have to change the aperture on my lens to like f4 or f5.6. I mean, what's the point at that point? I can get along perfectly with an 8,000 dual base ISO that the Sony a7V has. And then just the quality of life issues about like a joystick or the EVF, things like that. Just little things to me are worth the price for an upgrade. They really are. They make a huge difference when you only have a moment to get the shot that you're going for. So I'm feeling pretty good about my purchase. My question for you is, are you going to pick up the Sony a7V if you're a concert photography shooter? Maybe you already did. You know, I've been talking to a lot of people out in the scene that like were anticipating this camera, and I wasn't really, until I started to notice those little things that I just wanted all in one package, and I got with this body. So let me know if you're picking up this camera or what your current kit is and how you're getting along with it, because it's fun to have these discussions. And this was kind of a fun switch up and change of pace for how we normally do things on the channel. It feels good to just talk about it. So let's talk about it in the comments. I appreciate you checking out this video, and I hope you have an amazing year of shooting, creating, making things happen for others and for yourself. And I'll catch you on the next one.